Welcome to this week's 7 cards for 7 days, and hopefully energy cooperates this week. I know things are feeling clunky and things are feeling hard and the news is impossible and people are living through really, really hard things right now. And it's necessary. It's hard and it's horrible, but it's necessary for deep systemic change for us to. Pain will push you until there's a vision to pull you. And right now, most people are not connected enough to their vision. So they're having to have pain push them. And all I can tell you regarding current events in the United States is the more you can emotionally regulate, the more you can create safe spaces, the more you can create coherence, meaning that you're acting in alignment with your values, but without escalating things, that has a counterbalancing effect that is very needed right now. And there are lots of different ways to protest, to support, to do things, but not everyone is a frontline responder. And for creatives and gentler people, I would say, our job is emotional regulation for the whole, right? Our job is to be the mom that when the kid falls down and is crying, they can come to, and you're the person, the space, the individual that says everything's going to be okay. We're going to clean you up and get you where you can go back out again. Okay? So it's hard. I know it's hard, and we're all doing a really good job, and I'm proud of all of us. And let's see what help we can get this week. Compassion. Well, that's just spot on, right? So right now, first and foremost, compassion towards yourself, because you are doing hard things, you're living through hard things, and you are confronting and facing hard things that have been coming to a boiling point, and it's just been like on a back pot, simmering low and low for years, right? We're actually getting ready to enter a new, well, today, as I record this, we're entering a new 13-year cycle where a planet, Neptune, which is kind of like, societal change and things like that, is at 0 degrees of Aries. And Aries is the astrological beginning of the calendar, right? Like this is astrological New Year's. And sorry, a message just came in. And actually it was a message about being, like a literal text message came in. It was a message about how to be warm and cozy and cuddle up on things. And so we're at the beginning of a reorganization systemically, structurally, worldwide. Change is really hard. And so let yourself sit and be comfortable and be warm and find places to recharge and recover and extend compassion to other people, right? Be the person who can hold out a hand to somebody who looks different than them or feels different than them and says, hey, I know this looks like everything is terrible and your home's not there anymore, but there's help here. There's somebody who wants to make sure that you're okay and that you're safe. And that is how we get through some very, very deep systemic change that has to change. And for those people who are accepting the fact that it is time for change, things are going to be easier for you. For those people who are still clinging to a past that just no longer and never really served humanity, but especially not the iteration that we're moving into, it's going to be harder. And so in your life, if you're not directly impacted by what's going on in the news, you're probably having microcosm events where you have to resolve issues with long-standing relationships that have gone untested and untalked about for years, and they're coming to a point where you can't ignore it anymore, and it has to be addressed. It has to be clear cut. It has to be cut down to the roots and like fully addressed so that you can move forward in a way that you feel safe, that you feel healthy, and you feel confident. And so the more you get your house in order, the more you get your personal energy in alignment, the larger your radio signal of compassion goes out to other people and helps mitigate the effects at large. What else do we need to know for our highest and greatest good? Mirror. Yeah, the reality of how we're choosing to see the world is completely shifting. There's a lot of personal planets that are moving into new areas of the zodiac right now, and several are moving into Aries, which again is the brand new year in zodiac astrology, right? What that means is things that you used to be able to see through rose-colored glasses, you are no longer, the roses have fallen away. You're seeing things clearly, and you're looking things head on, and you're seeing with a clarity and a truth that you have never ever been willing to embrace before. And if you are brave enough to tackle the issues that truly threaten your safety, your authenticity, your way of operating, you have a chance to go through the magic mirror where you end up in the fairy tale world where things do work out and end okay. And things can work out and things can be okay. But if you keep choosing to be in denial and not admitting where there are things that are broken that need to be addressed, and you keep patching over it and saying it's okay, I don't notice that the things are wrong, you're going to end up dragged into this reality of pain, just pain over and over again until it pushes you to the point where you're ready to take action. So be proactive with your action, because what you are seeing now clearly is something that you need to address. And furthermore, you have the strength, you have the ability, and you have the resources to address your shadow work, to learn the communication skills, to confront things head on, to take action, to change things in a better way. You are better equipped now than you've ever been before, which is why this reality is popping up as a way for you to change it at this point in time. What else do we need to know for our highest and greatest good? Gift. Yeah, I know it feels like nothing good is happening, but there is a gift in all of this. And the gift is that when you address the problem, when you say, I don't know what to do with this, but I'm going to work on it, I'm going to find a solution, there is this ability for calm, peace, serenity, and connection between things that you never thought could come together, right? You shouldn't think that a mermaid and a girl can like coexist together, but they can, and they will, if people are brave enough to face it head on and use compassion as their strength first and foremost. Her hair is standing out, which is never the shooting star. That's the energy of wish upon a star, but not just wish upon the star. Know that you, in fact, are made of the same thing as a star. And so if you're wishing upon a star, you're wishing upon yourself, and you know your abilities, you know your strength, you know what you can do. But additionally, you're like this divine supernatural being made of stardust. And so you can make things that seem impossible happen. There's a gift in what you have available to you. And personally, I've been thinking like, okay, what can I do to aid the social situations that we're in right now, right? I am not a person who's made to be on front lines, being a synesthete and all of the things that come up for me. But what I am really good at is I am excellent at transmuting energy. I'm the person who goes into a room where everyone's stressed out and the room immediately calms, right? That is my gift that I can offer in this situation, and not everybody has that ability. You too have a gift. Maybe you're the frontline responder. Maybe you're the person who disseminates information. Maybe you're the person who witnesses it and documents it through photography. Maybe you're the person who writes about it, you know, who gets the emotional catharsis. Maybe you're the person who emotionally grieves for things. All of us have a gift, and every single gift is going to be needed in order to find resolution. And at this point in time, double down on your gifts. And if you don't know what your gifts are, ask five of your best friends and say, hey, if you're going to tell somebody about me, what do you feel like my biggest strength is, like in a stressful situation, or, you know, like what do you think it is? And maybe your gift is your humor and your ability to take a fucking bleak situation and make everybody laugh and give it some sort of emotional resonance, you know? You have a gift, use it, but there is a gift coming out of all of the chaos. And don't forget, your divinity is in your bones and in your DNA, and you are the star that somebody is wishing upon right now. What else do we need to know for our highest and greatest good? Adventure. Well, this is a hell of an adventure we're in. Nobody can argue that. Like, this is a time where books are written about, and you know, this is Les Miserables. This is all the epic stories of like transformation and revolution, and you can't argue with that part. And some people are bored, and this is a way to not be bored. So we are on an adventure, and if you can accept the fact that you have chosen to arrive in humanity at a point in time where there is this epic reorganization of, it's not just a societal reorganization, but there's also genetic upgrades that are happening. Like, we're learning things from science. We're learning that you can actually flip your gene sequence if you choose to. There are more and more abilities that are being studied and I don't know, mastered, I would say. And so I know it's hard, but in the middle of it, just pull back and try and get this big picture perspective for a moment, that you are actually part of something really amazing. It is an adventure that no one else could go through at any other point in time. Furthermore, the compass is really standing out. You know your true north. You know which way is the right way. And it is hard to walk your true path when everyone around you is walking their true path. But don't let someone pull you into their way just because you're too scared to find your own way. You can do this. And yes, there's creeping vines and it looks a little intimidating and a little scary, but I promise you, everything you need is in this backpack and you are going to be able to make it through that. And on the other side of this door is something that is unexpected. It lets you realize your strength in a way you've never known before. And whatever it is you are scared of, it is not that, but it is not anything you can imagine either. All right. Forgiveness. Yeah. Okay. Forgiveness of the world in general for being on fire. That feels important, but let's see specifically. A lot of letting go is happening with this forgiveness. You can't keep holding on to the anger and the hate for people who have made mistakes in the past. Through the adventure that we're on right now, they have an opportunity to course correct and come back and help those who they may have hurt in the past. But if you are so blinded to the fact that people are able to change, you are as much a part of the problem as the people who are causing the chaos right now. Because you have to be able to forgive and allow people to grow and change and evolve, or else you are always forever pigeonholing a person into their worst moments. And no one has a flawless track record. No one wants to be judged by their worst moments. And so forgiveness is hugely important at this point in time. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be justice. There should be justice. There can be justice. There will be justice. But in your group of people who you know, if in the past they have, say, voted for someone who you did not agree with, you cutting them off only broadens the chasm, and it does not allow for any sort of unity or connection. You're just as responsible to extend and listen and grow through your anger. And anger is justified, but if you choose to hold on to that and use it as a separation point, that will be part of the problem too. So forgiveness is huge at this point in time. 5, 6, fun. Well, we do need some fun, because you know what's super healing is fun. And did you know that in war-torn countries, they will drop soccer balls for kids because play is a form of therapy, and it's a way to get through the chaos and the horror and the terror. And so in the news, or when you're seeing something terrible, you will see people dancing in the streets as they're protesting, right? You find the fun in a moment, and it changes the energetic vibration of a situation too, right? Fear is a lower vibration, and we all know how that feels. Fun is a higher vibration, and we know how that feels. People are much more likely to come to an agreement or to change their behavior when they feel like they're in a safe space, and fun is one of the fastest ways to transmute the energy of a space. And so how can you find fun when you're stressed out? Look for fun as a way of release. And it's so weird to think of I have to go make myself have fun. But fun is often, in the unexpected moments. It's when you're with your friends and you can't tell what's going on behind you. This could be the chaos of the world, but you're with your friends and you're having a good time. And that's a solidifying bonding moment. So triple down on the fun right now. It's such a key component to your personal health. And for my creatives who are watching this, fun is actually a component of creativity. And if you're not having fun, then creativity is a lot harder to get the engine running. So 3, 4, 5, 6. And the final card of this week is mantra. Well, we'll read her mantras. It's I am safe, I am seen, I am loved, I am powerful, I am smart, I am free. And if you need a mantra and any of those resonate, go ahead and use them. But right now, a lot of the problems we are facing are related to our thoughts. And what has happened is we are letting other people dictate where our attention goes, and where our attention is where our energy flows, right? And so if they keep us distracted in fear and hurt and pain, then we don't have the ability to focus on healing, helping, all these positive things you can. So meditation is a form of practicing and choosing where your thoughts go. And one of the easiest ways to remind yourself is to have a mantra. And so this week, let a mantra come to you, whatever it may be. But this is, to me, is just saying there's growth coming, there's beauty coming, and there's calm coming. And the more you can embody that, the more it allows others to embrace it and follow your lead, because you are a leader in the situation. And the more you keep your calm, the more it's going to allow others to keep their calm too. So mantra, fun, forgiveness, adventure, gift, mirror, compassion. Okay, if you want personal cards pulled, like and comment on the posts, the tarot posts, so I know you're watching them. And join the $30 tier, which also includes group coaching. If you want to join us for group coaching, we meet on the second Saturday of each month from noon to 1 Central Standard Time via Zoom. And if you are still watching, keep watching until after the personal card pulls, because there's a final sum up card that comes. So Thomas is the last person I remember commenting, even on the week that they wouldn't let us post. So what does Thomas need to know? What does Thomas need to know right now? Oh dear. Okay, many things. This came out first, though. This is actually about collaboration, building things together, and security, actually. So this is what popped out first. It was upside down. So this is like what is hard to see about the situation that you're in right now. The second thing that popped out was this devil card. A lot of times this can mean addiction, but really it just means being tied to something that you didn't really consciously choose. It's something that you feel like enslaved to. And it feels like whatever it is that's causing you this feeling, know that there is support for you. There's a way to build, there's a way out of it. But you're closing out a cycle, a really shitty, horrible cycle. And there's some confusion as you're doing it. Like your thoughts are a little bit all over the place. But there is recognition of your creativity coming in. And then feels like the way through is for you to double down on your high priestess energy, which is your intuitive energy, and your willingness to trust your intuition and your feminine energy. And every person has masculine and feminine energy. Yours, it's about your ability to receive. It's about your ability to sit back and be that calm, steadying force, like the mom I talked about earlier, where you're the mom and the kid falls down. Lean into that energy for yourself, because you're closing out a cycle regarding whatever it felt like you were tied to unconsciously. And the end of cycles can feel rough, but you're getting to a better place. Okay. Yeah, that's on the end, which is like partnership, bestie, like true love, holding hand partners. Okay. Lisa. What does Lisa need to know for our highest and greatest good? What does Lisa need to know? Ooh, shuffling is hard. Okay. Lisa needs to know. Lisa needs to know. Okay. So these two flips out. That guy wanted to be held on to yet. Ooh. All right. You still need some alone time. So the Hermit and Temperance, you need some more processing time kind of on your own, right? So don't try and force things into public right now. You're still inward reflecting, and it's deep reflection. And what's happening is you're taking old thought beliefs that have been conditioned and societally fed into you, and you're transmuting them into something people can digest in a different way that's an enlightening way. Oh yeah, that's cute. Oh, weird. Okay. That was because of Thomas's thing. That's why. The King of Cups. Oh my God, and this would be my, geez, we're all in the same spot this week, I think. So, but you're doing it emotionally heart-led first. Like this is heart work, deep heart work. That's on the end, which is like growing abundance and opportunity, like physically. But you guys, I think we're all closing out a devil cycle, right? Like I know last week for me, it would be very indicative of me closing out a devil cycle, which is where this unconscious relationship pattern, I've had to face it head on. It was some of the hardest work I've done in these past 3 weeks. And I feel like we're all doing that really hard work to close out some sort of shitty ass cycle that we've been carrying around basically our entire lives. So, it just kind of feels overarching. So Lisa, I feel like you're doing that too through this reflection period, but just keep leaning on your heart work. You're not supposed to force it out right now. You're still in the part where you're transmuting it and you're like learning how you can explain it differently than other people have so that people can digest and palatize? No, it's not find it palatable. You know what I mean? Okay, and Shelly, what does Shelly need to know? What does Shelly need to know? Okay. What does Shelly need to know for her highest and greatest good? Okay. Nope, that's way too many. That feels like, okay, these feel that felt. Oh, Shelly's at a pretty princess new beginning, which I like for you. Look at all that pretty stuff. I'm just getting new beginning, like a change of things. But there is this in the background, there's this obscuring look at my attention. So this feels like the news. This feels like what your life can be right now, right? So it's not that you're ever going to discount what's going on societally, but especially because, Shelly, you work with so many young people and you're such a community leader, whether you know it or not. This is the new beginning you're setting out for people, and your example is going to travel so far, right? Like so far. So it's heart-led work where you're lifting things up. You have all the tools you need. The Fool cards, the brand new beginning where you're like, I'm going to go into this optimistically, even though, it may be scary. Wheel of Fortune, which is like a systemic change, which is all the planets moving right now. And just this idea that, yes, there is a good future that you can step into. So yes, shit's happening out there, but this is what you make in here so other people can step into it and have something to build onto. That's on the bottom. King and Queen of Pentacles. Well, sweet Jesus, that's a pretty partnership, right? Okay. Fatima. It doesn't matter what time it is. Okay, what does Fatima need to know for her highest and greatest good? What does Fatima need to know for her highest and greatest good? All right, what does Fatima need to know? Yeah, there's some pretty stuff coming up after we got that devil card out of the way. And anything in here? Okay, no. So the world is a closing out cycle, which again, very indicative of the changes, like systemically. And it feels like you are clear on what it is you want to create or bring into the world or, give to the world. And it's to be treasured, but there's a decision you have to make where you might be feeling like you have to be torn two ways. The guidance for you on this is the Labyrinth card, where you cannot make a wrong choice. So whatever decision it is you feel like you need to pick either or, maybe you choose both, and you can't make the wrong decision, okay? You are going to end up in the right spot no matter what happens. And the timing on this is saying that you have just closed out a huge cycle, or you are in the process of closing out a huge cycle, and you're stepping into this new energy with a pretty fast moving pace. And you're going to make the right choice, whatever it is you're worried about. Okay. And our final sum up card. The other thing that's coming in this week is resources that you have been waiting on for fucking ever are finally showing up. Tools that if you had them, you could do your job effectively are starting to arrive. And honestly, the delays that kept you from doing the creative work that you wanted to do happened so that you could close out those double card cycles, right? So that you could close out those deep-seated things that you have been scared to look head on. But now that you have closed them out or are in the process of closing them out, the tools and the help are coming in so that you can actually do the work you need to in an effective way, in a speedy way, in a way that'll impact others. I did a reading yesterday for somebody and this came up. The tools are coming in, but it is not time to go full speed ahead, right? What's happening is the tools are coming into you. You're having the support system that you need. You're getting the protection you need. And you will, at some point in time, turn all of the new tools you have on and start running full speed ahead, right? But right now what you're doing is you're just collecting the tools, you're putting them out, you're learning how to use them one at a time, and you are learning that slow and steady and not draining and not forcing and not hustling is your new normal, right? And so you can sit here and you can take a breath and you can brainstorm about what you want and you can let ideas come into you and you can listen to the music that comes in on the wind, and you are still going to be supportive and be able to do absolutely everything you need to do. So I know we talked about it a lot, but Lunar New Year is February 17th. Until then, it's still the closing out cycle, the rest cycle, the gather my information cycle, the get organized cycle, but not like in a stressful way, right? Because you're growing something, and you're growing something where it looks like you're like, God, I haven't produced, I haven't done anything. This looks like death, it looks like whatever. But what's been happening is you've been growing deeper roots and you've been understanding who you are foundationally and unshakably, so that the beautiful thing that you want to show everybody comes out in a way that's just completely breathtaking and impactful for people. So take a minute, catch your breath. It's going to be okay. You've taken the mask off. You're seeing the world clearly, and you deserve a rest right now. So don't push too hard. I'm proud of you, and go create something. We need to see it.